Men are the most.
So I saw this video. A woman said, um, after years, after a breakup, she told herself that she's fine with being single. She is done with relationships, and that she feels like she's healed. She's healed. And then subsequently, she said that okay, she let someone in. She let a man in into her life, and then she opened up to him, all this stuff, and then now she has to heal again. I.e., he was a terrible man or whatever, broke up with her, whatever, and now she has to go back on her healing journey. This will be controversial. Okay, well, maybe to some women it will be controversial. That, again, I've said this countless times before, I have no sympathy for women. Because one, you already start out delusional. Here's the thing where saying that you're fine with being single, you're done with relationships is a lie to yourself. Because if you wouldn't get into a relationship. You wouldn't entertain nobody. You wouldn't entertain nobody. This is the thing where it goes with the whole, I'm happy single, yet I'm dating. That don't make sense. If you're happy single, why do you want to change that happiness? Because this is the thing where a lot of women don't grasp. You are deluding yourself. When you say you're happy doing one way, but yet you do things to counteract that happiness by doing it an opposite way. I.e., you're happy being alone, yet you make an effort to not to be alone. That don't make sense. So you're already deluding yourself. Two, when you say you're healed, but you're not. Because here's the thing. Healed being like you know the problems, you know the issues, you self-reflect, you understand what you did wrong, what was the problem. But how do I say that she wasn't healed or wasn't healed properly? Because here's the thing. You still chose the wrong man. You still chose poorly. You still vetted poorly. Here's the thing where you should never let, okay, counteract if she wants to be in a relationship. Take away that delusion. Say that, you know what? I do want to be in a relationship. I just don't want to be hurt. So I will vet people properly, strictly. I will date with purpose. I'm dating with seriousness. So I'll vet people properly. I'm not letting people in straight away. Sex is not like, oh, it's not no time soon. I have to get to know you. We have to, we're gonna make it even. I'm not making you pay for a date, so we're going splitting. So nothing is like you're not gonna feel taken advantage of. These are steps where you make things seriously. You don't want to make a person feel that they're taken advantage of, i.e., always having to pay for dates and not getting nothing else. You're gonna make them feel like, you know what, that you are serious about it. You want a person that's serious. You're gonna need them. You need to know their history, their past, what type of person they are. It's like everything. You are so strict. You need to know their future plans, their past mistakes. This is the thing where that shows you that you are serious. That you're not taking it lightly. That's the thing where you want to be in a relationship. You just don't want to get hurt again. So now you take a different approach. You vet a man. Oh, I don't care if he's 6'6" or if he's 5'8". Okay, it's not about that. So I'm changing as a woman. Changing how I vet men or how I the men I choose. Okay, it's not about money. It's about, do you have a job? Do you work hard? Do you have a savings? Do you think about your future? Not because you're a six-figure man. No, it's about how you live life with the money you make. How you plan your life with the money you make. How you actually make the money. This is the thing where the problem is women are not learning. Women are not getting wisdom from their mistakes. That's the thing, and they're continuing the same path that they made the mistakes before. Okay, I'm not being attracted to men that has charm. That's like good talkers, because talk is lies. Talk is just lying. Talk, this the riz, the charm. It's all a bunch of lies. I'm going for a man that has actions. It's not he has actions behind his words. So I don't care what he says. It's what he does, and what he's done. Right, his past, how his past relationship failed, all that shit. This is the thing where that's why women don't do any of that, in my opinion. So they still make the same mistakes. They still fall for the men that's charming. They still want men that's charming, which I understand, but they still want men that's like, a certain look, instead of, what's his morality? What's his principles? What's his character like? What's the people around him? What do they think about him? Because meet the people around him too. Shit like that. So, yeah, that's why I don't have sympathy for women, because, you put yourself into it. The delusions and the fake heal thing.
You know what pisses me off even more? The fact that I was already completely healed, fully healed. Like, I was still in my, I wasn't even, I was, like, bro, I was already done healing and now I have to heal again? I know you're fucking like, this just brought my healing process like 10 times back.
I talked about this in my last video, but I'm going to make it a little bit more, I guess, a little focused. Women's healing journey or already healed is a joke. It's already a joke. Because here's the thing. When you say you're healed, yet you can still make the same mistakes, then you haven't healed. Because part of healing, in my opinion, is that you have learned from your mistakes. You have learned from mistakes. You have recognized the mistakes you've made so you can heal from those said mistakes. So to make the same mistakes again shows me that you haven't healed. And I believe this is a common thing where so many women say, oh, they're on a healing journey, they are healed, all that stuff. And then to only show that it's a lie because you chose the exact same type of men. You're in the same exact situations that you were in before your said healing journey or said healed state. So you constantly prove that, you know what, you haven't healed. You haven't. You're just living in your delusions continually. That's the thing where I like to call out this fake healing journey, because in my opinion, now that I recognize that, those delusions and lies, any woman that says I'm healed or I'm on my healing journey is a big red flag. Big red flag. Because you've only shown me that, you know what, you're faking it. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself just to make yourself believe in this. And it's so this mantra, like a lot of women do these things like, oh, supposedly like, and again, I guess it's like a motivational thing. I understand the thought process to motivate you, but honestly, you go about it wrong. You go about it wrong, and you don't fix what mistakes you've made, and it only shows through your actions. Because here's the thing: you said healing journey is exactly what I believe. Just words, no actions at all. And I think that's what a lot of women fail at. They only care about words, the lies the men say, lies, not the actions. They ignore, they're blinded to the actions. I'm seeing it more and more, and I guess that's indicative of how the mindset. Right? It's all about words. It's all about the charm. That's why a lot of women like charm. They love lies. They love to talk. And I've heard that if you, what is it? Thing where when you lie, women buy. Yeah, because they love lies. They love the charm. You know, so.
This man ski all in me, trying to trap me, and I want to be trapped. It's crazy, baby. I'm with all the bullshit. Trust me.
Okay, so instead of going back and forth, I might as well just reply with a video. Here's the thing where I think women are vetting wrong. To pick men on superficial things like how attractive he is, how tall he is, the words he's saying, like charisma, you know, how good of a talker he is, how much money he makes. Shit like that is always, in my opinion, wrong. Because superficial things, picking someone on superficial traits will always lead to not seeing who the person really is. And I will do this for men too. For men that will just go for women purely on how good she looks and not who she is inside, that always goes wrong. And here's the thing where, oh, what if he lies? I get it. Liars happen. People are liars. What helps with the whole lying shit is that time. Nobody, no matter how good they are at lying, can hold up facades, lies for forever. This is the thing where how you go about the vetting process is that you go on dates. You know, you really try to get to know the person. You do everything, not just the person. You get to know the people around them, their friends, their families. You know, how they are on social media. You get to know their character. This is the thing where also during the process is that women won't like this, but why you go on 50-50 dates where you are paying for you, he's paying for him. So no one's feeling taken advantage of. No one's feeling used. Because you're purely vetting. You are dating with a purpose. You're not dating to use a man, because this is the thing where you avoid the cases where men will feel like they're being used. That's how you honestly go about, in my opinion, truly vetting a proper partner, in my opinion. Now, again, it's only my opinion, but I think it helps more than often. Now, there are rare cases, there are different cases. I'm not saying my solution is the end all to be all. I'm not, but I see a lot of women doing the vetting process really bad. I think, you know, don't jump into having sex with men. Pick men, or continue dating men, or, you know, I don't know, go for men where they show who they are, their character, their personality. Because honestly, with social media, you get to see a lot of how men really are. They're the type of men they are, what they say, what they believe in, their boundaries, their mindset. So, I mean, that is my view of how you go about it. But again, do what you want. I honestly believe that adults will do whatever they want. You know, you're an adult. But a lot of times, I think it's beneficial to listen to others. I'm not saying obey. I'm not saying that. But, you know, listen and say, you know what? That makes sense. You know what? I'm going to go with that. I mean, you don't have to listen to every single thing a person says. And there's so many others. You know, like stop falling for lies and pay attention to actions. You know, really the process of, you know, not always on dates, but like phone calls, FaceTimes, hanging out with him other times, where you pay attention to what type of man he is, the character, how he interacts, his lifestyle, all this. It's just, this is the thing where, honestly, the most important thing is to pay attention. And I think one of the biggest flaw of women, and maybe probably everyone, okay, and because I've been a fool of it too, where We see red flags, yet we consistently ignore them. I think that's the biggest case, where we see the red flags. We see it. They are maybe quick to anger, or I don't know, they badmouth people, whatever. We see the red flags. But a lot of times because, oh, they are really good looking, we really like their, whatever. You know, they have money, they're charming, they're funny, whatever. We choose to ignore the red flags, hoping another big flaw of individual, which of a lot of times of women, is that we hope this person, their flaws, whatever we don't like about them, will change eventually, will change over time. That, one, ignoring red flags, and two, hoping that these red flags or whatever feeling that's nagging about you will change over time. Those are big key issues that I think a lot of women, I'm not saying all, but I think a lot of women fall victim of. And the problem is why I say the healing journey is a lie, a lot of times, not all the time, is that those two flaws are never fixed. Because you still continue to ignore red flags and you still hope for changes in a certain person instead of loving them or thinking to yourself, would I still love this person or want to be with this person if they are exactly who I see they are right now? If they are, whatever, if they are easily angry or whatever, will I still love that trait 10 years, 20 years down the road? That's the thing. Will I still hope that these certain traits will change? That's when you should figure out, you know what? No, stop hoping, stop wanting people to change.
Emotional intelligence isn't sexy until you date somebody who doesn't have it. What is emotional intelligence? So that's taking accountability, that is communication, and that is being empathetic, vulnerable, and open with you. And until you start to date people that don't have it is when you start to realize how important it is, because you can't actually have a secure, healthy relationship and a true foundation of support without somebody that's going to show up in the ways that you are also showing up for them. Stop accepting less than you deserve.